Experiencing the loss of a spouse is truly one of the most heart-wrenching journeys one can face. It's more than just the heavy feelings of sorrow. It's the sheer amount of choices that unexpectedly land on your plate. During moments like these, it's all too common to find ourselves making decisions driven by pain, loneliness, or the influence of those around us. However, certain choices might bring about regrets we didn't see coming, financial troubles, or emotional hurdles that can make the journey to healing feel even more challenging. The truth is, grieving is a deeply personal journey, but there are definitely some things you might want to pause and consider before agreeing to them. In this video, we're going to chat about 5 things you might want to say no to after losing a spouse. These are common missteps that many folks make without even realizing it, only to find out later that they weren't quite ready for them. These are the challenges that can turn an already tough situation into something even more complex. By getting to know them ahead of time, you can safeguard your emotional, financial, and physical well-being. Stick around until the very end, because these insights go beyond just steering clear of mistakes. It's all about helping you find your way through this chapter of your life with clarity, dignity, and the support you truly deserve. Hey there! Before we dive in, I'd be super grateful if you could give this video a thumbs up. I'd love for you to join me in sharing these timeless lessons with others. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love for you to click that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you can stay updated with all the latest videos. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love for you to drop a comment with the number 1, and if it wasn't quite your cup of tea, feel free to share a 0 so I can make my future videos even better. All right, let's dive in. First off, jumping into big financial decisions too quickly can be a bit risky. One of the most frequent missteps folks take after losing a spouse is hurrying into significant financial choices. It's completely normal to find yourself suddenly navigating through bank accounts, insurance policies, investments, and maybe even pondering whether to hold on to your home or let it go. When you're in the thick of grief, it often seems like jumping into action might bring a little stability or help you feel more in control. However, it's important to recognize that grief can cloud our judgment, and making hasty financial decisions during such times might lead to regrets later on. When feelings are intense, choices that appear sensible at the time may not be the wisest for the future. Lots of widows and widowers find themselves feeling a bit rushed by caring friends, financial advisors, or even their own instincts to put their house on the market. Consider relocating or making significant investments. However, the months following the loss of a spouse are a time for emotional healing, rather than for taking financial risks. Taking a moment to pause is the wisest decision you can make. Take a moment to let yourself feel and understand your loss before jumping into decisions that might shape your future. Let me tell you about a remarkable woman named Margaret, who is 74 years young. After her husband passed away, many folks suggested that she should think about downsizing her home right away. It was a thought that really clicked. A smaller space to care for, reduced costs, and the chance for a new beginning. Before long, she found herself selling the house. After 40 years in their beloved home, they decided to move into a cozier apartment in a new town. But once the initial shock of loss faded away, she came to understand that her decision had been made in a moment of panic. She longed for the cozy familiarity of her surroundings, the friendly faces of her neighbors, and the warm comfort that her home always offered. Looking back, she found herself wishing she had taken a bit more time before making such a significant leap. When it comes to financial decisions, there's so much more than just real estate to consider. Many newly widowed individuals find themselves in the sights of financial predators, those who view their vulnerability as a chance to take advantage. When it comes to investment opportunities that come out of the blue, high-pressure sales pitches, or even the friendly advice from well-meaning pals, it's important to tread carefully. If someone is pushing you to sign some papers, make a big withdrawal, or invest in something right away, take a moment to pause and think it over. Why not take a moment to step back? Good financial choices often come from taking your time, rather than making hasty decisions. One frequent misstep is parting with money or assets too hastily. When we experience grief, it often stirs within us a deep urge to lend a hand to those around us, be it children, grandchildren, charities, or dear friends. Generosity is truly a beautiful quality, but giving away large sums of money or splitting up your assets too soon can put you in a tricky spot down the road. What feels doable right now might not hold up in the long run. Before diving into any big financial decisions, it's a good idea to chat with a trusted expert who really gets your long-term goals and can guide you in making smart plans. The first year after losing a spouse is really about finding your footing again, rather than making any big financial shifts. Many experts like to share the wisdom of the one-year rule. It's a simple idea. Take your time and wait at least a year before diving into any big financial decisions that can't be undone. This gives you a moment to let the initial emotional shock fade away, allowing you to think clearly about what's really best for your future. Going through the loss of a spouse is truly one of life's toughest journeys. No one wants the extra burden of financial blunders, right? Well, that was something we could have sidestepped, wasn't it? Take your time, find someone you trust for guidance, and keep in mind that there's no need to hurry. Clear decisions come from a place of understanding, not sorrow. Second, pulling away from your friends and family. When you lose a spouse, it's completely understandable to crave some time to yourself. Grief is a journey that often feels very personal, and at times it can lead us into solitude. It seems like this is the only way to work through the hurt. While it's important to carve out some time for yourself, completely shutting out friends and family can actually deepen feelings of loneliness, making the healing process even tougher. It's common for folks to slip into the routine of pulling back, convincing themselves that all they really need is a little more time. But isolation can easily become a habit that's tough to shake off. Connecting with others is so important for our emotional health, particularly when we're facing loss. When folks keep their distance for an extended period, they often find themselves grappling with heightened feelings of sadness, anxiety, and sometimes even a dip in their physical health. Research has revealed that spending too much time alone can have some serious effects on our health, like making our immune system less effective, raising blood pressure, and potentially leading to a shorter life. On the flip side, keeping in touch, even in little ways, can lighten the emotional load and offer a comforting sense of support. Let me tell you about Walter, a lively 78-year-old with a story to share. After losing his beloved wife of 52 years, he found himself withdrawing from the world. Phone calls went unanswered, family gatherings felt too overwhelming, and he seldom ventured outside his home. He reassured himself that he simply wasn't feeling up to a conversation, that others might not grasp the depth of his sorrow, and that solitude felt like the simpler choice. As the months rolled by, he found himself sinking deeper instead of rising above. His days started to blend into one another, his energy waned, and even his appetite took a turn. It was only when a neighbor warmly urged him to come over for a cup of coffee that things began to change. What started as a simple conversation blossomed into a delightful weekly habit, evolving into a cherished little routine of gathering with friends. The more he got involved, the lighter his heart became. It wasn't that the pain vanished, rather, he discovered he wasn't alone in shouldering it. It's important to take your time and not rush into big social situations until you feel ready. It's all about those little steps we take to keep in touch. Whether it's picking up the phone for a chat, taking a quick stroll with a buddy, or even participating in a support group, these small steps can really help you steer clear of sinking into deep loneliness. If you're not in the mood to chat, that's perfectly fine. Just being in the company of others, even if it's just soaking in their chatter, can serve as a gentle reminder that life goes on and that there's support out there whenever you might need it. One common misstep that folks often take is distancing themselves from the very people who care about them the most. There are moments when grief can lead to feelings of irritability, fatigue, or a nagging sense that those around you just can't quite grasp what you're experiencing. However, completely shutting people out can lead to an unwarranted gap between you and those who truly wish to lend a hand. Sometimes the people we care about might not find the right words to say, but just having them around can truly brighten our day. Inviting them in, little by little, can bring a sense of comfort, even when words fall short. It's really helpful to reach out to those who can relate to what you're going through. Finding others who have experienced similar losses, whether it's through a grief support group, a community gathering, or even an online forum, can truly be a source of healing. Talking to folks who really get what you're experiencing can help affirm your feelings and remind you that you're not in this by yourself. Grief has its own rhythm, and healing takes its own time. But shutting ourselves off from others just makes the journey that much tougher. Discovering little ways to reconnect with others at your own speed can bring you strength, support, and even delightful surprises along the way. Hey there. Just a gentle reminder that you don't have to bear the burden of loss by yourself. There are folks out there who genuinely care, who are ready to stand by your side, and who can help you take those small steps forward, one at a time. If you're still with me on this video and enjoying these insights, I'd love for you to drop a number 2 in the comments to let me know you're here. If you haven't subscribed yet, I really encourage you to do so and hit that bell icon so you won't miss out on any of our videos. Your support allows us to keep crafting great content that informs and inspires you. All right, let's keep going. Thirdly, overlooking your own health and well-being. When a loved one passes away, it's common for people to become so overwhelmed by their sorrow that they neglect their own well-being. When you're navigating the tough waters of loss, it's all too simple to delay those doctor's appointments, overlook meals, or let your daily routines fall by the wayside. Some folks even find themselves feeling guilty about taking care of their own needs, as if putting their health first somehow takes away from the love or sorrow they feel. But the truth is, ignoring your well-being won't help you feel any closer to the one you lost. It just makes your path ahead a bit more challenging. Grief can impact our bodies in ways that often go unnoticed by many. Research indicates that the loss of a spouse can lead to a higher likelihood of heart issues, a decline in immune strength, and even challenges with cognitive function. Grief can really take a toll on us, causing things like high blood pressure, restless nights, and shifts in how we eat. Some folks find themselves losing their appetite, while others seek solace in indulgent comfort foods. As time goes by, these changes can really impact both our physical and mental well-being. It's important to remember that you won't feel back to normal right away. Instead, focus on making little choices that support your body and keep you strong as you work through this challenging period. Let me tell you about James, an 81-year-old with a story to share. After his wife passed away, he just couldn't bring himself to cook meals for himself anymore. He kept telling himself that he just wasn't hungry, and when he finally did eat, it was often something quick and easy, not exactly the healthiest choice. After a few months, he began to notice he was feeling weaker, having trouble sleeping, and experiencing a persistent sense of fatigue. His daughter saw the difference and gently urged him to get back to eating regular meals, even if he wasn't feeling hungry. After he started making a few small changes, such as whipping up some easy, healthy meals and staying hydrated, he noticed a boost in his energy, a steadier mood, and a greater ability to navigate the emotions that accompanied his grief. Taking care of yourself goes beyond just what you eat. It covers aspects like movement, sleep, and emotional well-being. After losing a spouse, many folks find themselves stepping away from exercise. It's not that they don't want to stay active. It's just that the companionship they once had is gone, leaving them without that special someone to share the experience with. Staying physically active, even if it's just a quick stroll each day, has been proven to help reduce stress, lift your spirits, and even enhance your lifespan. Sometimes getting involved in a local walking group or exercise class can offer not just a boost to your physical health, but also a wonderful chance to connect with others. One mistake that many people make is overlooking those important medical checkups. Many widows and widowers often put off their regular doctor visits or hesitate to seek medical care because they feel a bit too overwhelmed. Now is the moment when looking after your health matters more than ever before. Hey there, if it's been a bit since your last visit to the doctor, why not go ahead and schedule an appointment? It's always good to check in on your health. Keeping up with regular checkups, taking care of any health conditions you may have, and staying organized with your medications can really change how you feel, both physically and emotionally. Mental health holds the same significance as physical health. Grief can sometimes bring along friends like depression, anxiety, and those heavy feelings of hopelessness, especially when it's paired with a sense of isolation. If you're having a tough time, remember it's perfectly okay to ask for a little help. Talking with a counselor, joining a grief support group, or simply sharing your feelings with a trusted friend can really help bring some comfort and peace of mind. You're not in this by yourself, and reaching out for help shows strength, not weakness. It's a step on the road to healing. Your partner would have wanted you to look after yourself. Remembering them doesn't mean you have to put your own well-being on the line. It's all about living in a way that helps you discover those little moments of peace and strength along the journey. It's perfectly natural to grieve, to allow yourself the time you need, and to acknowledge the heaviness that comes with loss. Amidst everything going on, don't forget that your health is important. 2. You're still here, and taking care of yourself is so important. When you lose a spouse, it creates a deep emotional gap that can seem overwhelming and hard to mend. For many, the loneliness that comes after is one of the toughest aspects of grief, and the thought of finding companionship again might feel like the only way to get through it. It's perfectly natural to seek connection, but one of the frequent missteps that widows and widowers often encounter is diving into a new relationship before they've had the chance to fully work through their grief. When we experience loss, it's only natural to seek comfort. However, jumping into big romantic decisions too quickly can often lead to more heartache, confusion, and regrets down the line. Grief has its own rhythm, and each person finds their way to heal in their own time. Some folks might take years to even think about dating again, while others feel ready to jump back in a lot sooner. When feelings run deep, it's easy to find ourselves stepping into a relationship for all the wrong reasons. Often, folks find themselves on the lookout for a partner, not necessarily because they're genuinely prepared for a relationship, but rather in an effort to fill a void, fend off loneliness, or dodge the hurt they've experienced. These relationships often start with intense feelings, but they may not have the solid foundation required for lasting success. Let me tell you about Barbara, a lively 72-year-old with a story to share. Just a few months after saying goodbye to her husband of nearly 50 years, she crossed paths with someone through a mutual friend and soon found herself in a new relationship. In the beginning, It seemed like the perfect companionship she'd been longing for, someone to chat with, to enjoy meals alongside, and to help take her mind off the heavy weight of loneliness. But as time passed, she began to understand that she wasn't quite prepared after all. Things progressed more quickly than she had anticipated, and before long, she found herself feeling confined in a situation that just didn't sit well with her. In the end, she realized it was important to take a step back and carve out some time just for herself. Looking back, she found herself wishing she had taken a bit more time before jumping into such a significant decision. A new relationship ought to be built on a true connection rather than merely serving as a source of emotional comfort. After spending decades together, a couple's habits, routines, and shared memories become a beautiful tapestry woven into the fabric of their lives. Jumping into a new relationship before you've had a chance to really process that loss can set the stage for some tricky situations. You might find yourself making unfair comparisons, holding on to unrealistic expectations, and feeling a bit of guilt along the way. Some widows and widowers find themselves caught in a whirlwind of emotions, eager to embrace the future, yet feeling as though they might be betraying the memory of their loved ones. It's completely normal to have these feelings, and it's important to recognize and process them before stepping into something new. Another worry is the risk of being open to those who might not have our best interests at heart. Sadly, there are individuals who prey on those in mourning, pretending to offer emotional support while actually seeking to manipulate or exploit them for financial gain. Scammers, and even those with good intentions but a knack for seizing opportunities, often target widowed seniors, aware that they might be feeling emotionally vulnerable and longing for companionship. That's why it's so important to listen to your gut and not rush things. If you ever find yourself in a situation where someone is urging you to make quick commitments, rush into financial choices, or pull away from your loved ones, those are definitely signs to pay attention to. Don't let them slip by unnoticed. It doesn't mean you have to steer clear of love or companionship for good. Many widows and widowers discover meaningful relationships later in life. The healthiest and most fulfilling connections often blossom when both individuals are genuinely ready, making their choice from a place of healing rather than desperation. Time and reflection play an important role. Taking the time to work through grief, rediscover who you are, and find comfort in your own company before looking for a new partner can truly change everything. If you decide to start dating again, take your time and go at a pace that feels right for you. Take a moment to really think about what you desire in a relationship and ensure that you're stepping into it for all the right reasons. Share your feelings with friends or family you trust, and remember, it's important to stay true to yourself. Don't let anyone's opinions sway you, whether they think it's too soon or that you shouldn't be on your own. The choice is entirely up to you, my friend. When all is said and done, grief and healing are journeys that each person walks in their own unique way. Take your time, enjoy the journey, and feel free to make your own path. Taking care of yourself is the most important thing. That way, when the time comes for a new relationship, it can be built on a strong foundation of peace and genuine companionship. If you're still with me on this video and enjoying these insights, I'd love for you to drop a comment with the number 4 below to say hi. If you haven't subscribed yet, I really encourage you to do so and hit that bell so you won't miss out on any of our videos. Your support allows us to keep crafting great content that informs and inspires you. All right, let's keep going. Number 5. Clinging to every possession and never letting go. One of the toughest challenges after losing a spouse is figuring out what to do with their things. Each item carries its own story, and the idea of parting with them can feel like a second loss of those cherished memories. Many widows and widowers find themselves facing this challenge, holding on to every piece of clothing, every personal belonging, and every little item just as it was, worried that any move or change might wipe away the memories of the life they built together. While it's natural to want to hold on to memories, keeping everything forever can sometimes weigh us down, making it harder to heal and find a way to move forward. It's perfectly normal to hold on to a few sentimental items. There's no law that says you have to part with it all. However, leaving a home completely unchanged for years, with the closet just as it was, can transform a house into a shrine of sorrow instead of a cozy haven. As time goes by, rather than offering solace, it can become a constant reminder of what we've lost, making it more challenging to embrace the next chapter of our lives. Let me tell you about Harold, a lively 76-year-old with a story to share. When his beloved wife of 55 years passed away, he chose to keep everything just as she had left it. Her shoes lingered by the door, her clothes hung quietly in the closet, and her beloved chair sat there, waiting patiently for her return. In the beginning, it seemed like a way to keep her near. As the months rolled on, he came to understand that strolling by her untouched things each day was holding him back, keeping him anchored in the same emotional spot. He just wasn't quite ready to let go of it all. As he began to part with some of his belongings, holding on to just a handful of cherished items, a wave of relief washed over him. It wasn't about letting go. It was all about creating space for healing. Letting go doesn't mean you forget or love any less. It's about giving yourself the room to take a breath. Rather than pushing yourself to make big changes all at once, why not begin with small steps? Pick out a handful of cherished keepsakes, maybe a lovely piece of jewelry, a heartfelt handwritten note, or a beloved photo, and set up a special spot just for them. When you feel ready, start going through your other belongings. Think about what really matters to you and what's just taking up space. One common misstep folks often take is letting the pressure from others push them into parting with their belongings before they truly feel ready. Sometimes, friends or family members have the best intentions when they suggest that you should clear things out or move on. But remember, this decision is yours to make whenever you feel ready. If you're not quite there yet, take your time and don't hurry. It's important to remember that clinging to things out of guilt or fear might just be keeping you stuck in sadness longer than you need to be. There's a certain emotional harmony in choosing to repurpose instead of simply getting rid of things. Many folks find joy in taking an old shirt and turning it into a cozy quilt, or gathering a bunch of letters to create a heartfelt memory book. Others love to pass down cherished items to family and friends who will hold them dear. This way, they stay with us, bringing a sense of warmth rather than just sadness. In the end, grief isn't really about possessions. It's a tale of love, cherished memories, and the special bond you created together. No item can truly take the place of a loved one, yet holding on to all their belongings won't bring them back either. Letting go in small and thoughtful ways doesn't mean we forget. It's a meaningful way to pay tribute to their memory, while also creating room for your own healing journey. Moving forward doesn't mean leaving them behind. It just means holding them close in a way that lets love and life thrive together. Wrapping things up. Experiencing the loss of a spouse is truly one of life's deepest and most heart-wrenching journeys. It transforms everything, the way you live, the way you think, and even how you envision the future. Even when you're feeling the weight of sorrow, it's crucial to keep in mind that each choice you make can either support your journey to healing or make it a bit tougher. That's why turning down these 5 things, rushing into financial decisions, isolating yourself, neglecting your health, diving into a new relationship too quickly, and clinging to everything without embracing change, can really help you move forward with strength and clarity. Grief has its own rhythm, and there's no set schedule or correct way to navigate through it. One thing's for sure, Steering clear of these common pitfalls can guide you through this chapter of your life while keeping both your heart and your future safe. Healing is not about forgetting, and moving forward doesn't mean leaving your partner behind. It's about cherishing their memory in a way that helps you carry on with purpose, peace, and even joy in the days to come. What caught your eye the most? Which of these insights resonates the most with your own journey? We're eager to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell us one thing you learned today and how you're planning to use it in your life. We truly value your thoughts, so please feel free to share them with us. Your comments truly inspire and uplift us. If you liked this video and found it useful, we'd love for you to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Your support allows us to keep crafting great content that informs and inspires you. We really appreciate you tuning in, and we can't wait to catch you in the next video.